Hello and welcome back to another episode of Word Wednesday. I'm your host, Paige Goodger, and as always, I have my co-host, Mr. Bix Weir. Hi, Bix. It's been a while. It's
It's
so
been
nice to be back on.
it's been way too long. Where you been, Paige? Everybody's saying, "Where's Paige? Where's Paige?"
It's been way too long. I've been helping mail out all the silver coins for everyone that has joined the private road. So if you haven't joined the private road, make sure you go join today so you can get your Rotaruta silver coin. They are gorgeous. Yes, like
Yeah,
that's
baby.
the front of it.
I can't.
Little Ruta.
There it is.
Here we go.
That's
They're
Ruta.
so cute. They all have individual numbers on them. They're all different. So they're kind of like NFTs, which is what we're going to be talking about today.
Oh my God, here we go.
NFT stands for non-fungible token. You may have heard this term recently, but today we're going to take a closer look at what NFTs are. So let's take a look at the word fungible. Fungibility refers to something that is divisible, replaceable, or interchangeable with something else. For example, if I swapped 4 quarters for $1 or $1 for $1, the value is still the same. So this water bottle would be non-fungible. So yes, Hydro Flask makes this same bottle in the same color, but no other water bottle is going to have these exact stickers, this exact handle, and this little sticker, this rubber sticky bottom, or any of the sentimental value from all of the trips I've taken this on. So if I ever lose this water bottle, I could not get another one like it. It is non-replaceable, it is unique, it is non-divisible, and it is non-fungible. So let's look at this chart to get a better grasp of fungibility in our real world and in the digital world. Here we have a chart showing the digital world and the real world. So an example of a fungible item in the digital world would be Bitcoin or Ethereum. So one Bitcoin is always going to equal another Bitcoin, or a million Satoshis will equal one Bitcoin, and they are interchangeable, they're equal. So a real world example of this would be taking in a bar of gold, and you don't want to carry around this big bar of gold, so you exchange that for little coins of gold. So a non-fungible item in the real world would be a house or a car or a dog. So if I wanted to swap my dog with your dog or my house with your house, those two things will never be equal. My house has all this sentimental value. It has a different structure. You can never exchange those things and they will never be exactly the same. So a non-fungible item in the digital world is something like a GIF or a copyright. So that GIF will always be that original art piece. And then everyone that comes after that is only a copy. So now we understand non-fungible. Let's take a look at what a token means. To review, the blockchain is an online ledger that keeps track of and verifies all transactions occurring between people on a specific network. It's kind of like what the bank does when you swipe your debit card, but instead of the bank, blockchain verifies that the person sending crypto has enough crypto to send, and the person receiving crypto is receiving that crypto, and nothing bad is going on between that transaction. Except the ledger is held by all people participating in that blockchain, not just a centralized authority like the evil banksters. Tokens are something physical or digital that can be mined, exchanged for, or represent a good, service, or other form of value. Fiat would be a token in our physical world. Theta would be a token in our digital world. So the definition that I think is most helpful for NFT is an indivisible, non-replaceable, unique cryptocurrency token representing and authenticating the ownership of a digital asset on a blockchain. So let's take a look at some NFTs. And NFTs can range from music, art, sports clips, virtual shoes, and even virtual land. These are essentially digital collections. Okay, so here are some NFTs, and this is Neon Cat, and this is a GIF, and this GIF typically moves, but this is an example of a digital art piece. And this is also CryptoPunk that was recently sold for an obscene amount of money. And this is Patrick Mahomes, and a lot of NBA players and NFL players are turning to NFTs for using for their trading cards. And sports clips from NBA and other sporting franchises, they take specific clips from specific games, and you can buy those clips and own that clip and the original clip from that specific game. And another example is the World Poker Tour that was supported by Theta, and NFTs were available for specific plays within the World Poker Tour, but there were some issues with this. So Bix, if you want to take the floor and talk about some of the issues that happened with the Theta network and NFTs.
Sure. NFTs, they're going to be huge. They already are big. They're going to be huge. So Theta works with the World Poker Tour, and they're setting up this big Theta drop, is what they call it. They're going to be selling clips from great hands and things like that, along with other memorabilia as NFTs. Last Sunday night was the plan. For some reason, they did it at 9 o'clock at night, West Coast time. There's a lot of things I don't quite understand why they did this. But it was a failure in that, even with all the hype, it was being broadcast live. So it went live, and so many people were trying to buy these NFTs that it crashed their server. Now, this isn't a problem with Theta, the blockchain. This is a problem with Theta Labs not preparing to be inundated like they were in that event. And then pretty much the website shut down, and nobody was able to buy the NFTs. Complete failure by the lack of planning on Theta's part. So they're 2 for 2 now. They also had to delay the blockchain upgrade till the end of June. Now, there are many people in the conspiracy world who said there's no way Theta would make this mistake. I mean, they're partners with Google, and they could use the iCloud and all this stuff. The question is, did they do it on purpose to kind of keep the excitement down in Theta? Theta went down a little bit, kind of on the news, not really, but a little bit. And great time to buy Theta, if you ask me. This really was a warm up for the big mother of all partnerships that I believe is coming. And that's a partnership with Tom Brady's new company, Autograph, which will probably be the largest of all these NFT companies. There's a lot of them springing up everywhere. I think even eBay is starting one. But Theta wants to be the biggest and the best. And if they do secure the Tom Brady company, Autograph, that would be, they better get, the entire iCloud as a server to deal with that kind of volume. So I'm not so sure that this was a problem that was a mistake. I think it was something else is going on behind the scenes. That's just my take, though. But on the face of it, it was a complete failure. They set up a new time, and that'll be this weekend. So we'll see what happens. Will they be the comeback kid, or will they fail again because they just can't handle the volume, and because their servers aren't big enough? Truthfully, something stinks in the crypto world as far as Theta being manipulated and not available to U.S. citizens, pretty much because all the big exchanges won't touch it for some reason. So that's my take on what's going on with the Theta fail.
Well, hopefully they are the comeback kids, and Theta is put on US exchanges soon so that it can grow, because obviously, as we can see by the network crashing because so many people were using it, it's obviously popular. People want this technology, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully everything goes smoothly for Theta in the next couple months.
I believe it will.
So if you still feel like this and are wondering, why are NFTs valuable? Don't worry, I got you. So if you're like me, you might be sitting there thinking, I just don't get it. Chances are you're not a collector like me. See, everything in the world either has objective value or subjective value. Water, food, shelter, all of these things are objectively important. We need these to survive, and the importance of these things is not dictated by personal feelings or opinions. So, the flip side of that is subjective value. For example, I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, so a New York Yankees baseball card would be subjectively worthless to me because personally, I don't like the Yankees. Think about something that is important to you because of your personal feelings or opinions. That is how people buying NFTs feel. These NFTs have no inherent value. We give them value and decide, yes, this gift is valuable. If there is anything that will motivate humans to spend ridiculous amounts of money, it is an entire group of people validating that something is real and there is only one of them. It's scarcity at its finest. So, right now, NFTs are huge in the gaming and collectibles space because NFTs created digital scarcity. This is ultimately the driving force behind NFTs' value. How do you feel about that, Bix?
There's a lot of fraud that goes on in NFTs and these auctions. You know, you hear things going for hundreds of millions of dollars, and you're like, well, who bid on it? Was it the person who actually put it up for sale? Were they bidding on their own thing so that it just looks like it's a multi-million dollar thing? Um, that's one of the things out there, and you can't tell on the blockchain. So who knows what's going on? It's the wild west in the NFT marketplace, just like it's the wild west in the crypto exchange space, in the stock market, in the bond market, and of course in the gold and silver markets. So I don't trust any numbers these days. So somebody tells me some crazy piece of art gift goes for $100 million, I'm gonna say bullshit right away. It might have gone for 100 million, but it probably was paid by the same person who put it up for sale.
Very true. That's a very valid point. So you might be saying, but wait, Paige, you just showed me a bunch of NFTs in your slideshow. That NFT that people own can still live in other places on the internet, but what does it matter if someone has the original? So I like to think of this like the Mona Lisa. The picture can be seen anywhere. It is now a meme. It's all over the place. But only the original is actually valuable and lives in one place. So NFTs kind of make this concept real in the digital space. If you've ever spent time with small children, then you know around 2 years old, they're obsessed with saying mine. They're taking toys and teddy bears from other kids and like mine, 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 mine. And in my opinion, NFTs are kind of like an adult's version of saying mine with a digital asset. So, why are they important beyond simply being able to say mine? So, filmmakers and musicians can register their work on the blockchain in the form of an NFT to protect against copyright infringement or to manage performance rights, which would remove the need for intermediaries like agents or managers. So, the funds would go directly to the rightful creators of content without third parties taking a share. People can create NFTs with cryptocurrencies and digital files, meaning NFTs can be traded and are redeemable for real world assets. People have said that NFTs can also represent official documentation in the future, like birth certificates, academic credentials, warranties, identities, and even DNA data, which honestly freaks me out. NFTs also protect intellectual property because you can directly support creators and know that that creator is being supported directly without that money going elsewhere. So if you would like it to look into some NFTs, you can go to OpenSea.io and check out their marketplace. So Bix, do you think NFTs will be created for assets such as physical silver or precious metals?
Ooh, good question. I would say yes and no. Yes, on the if there's a unique coin, there's numismatic coins, maybe even the Road to Ruta coins, which are all individually numbered.
Mhm.
We could do NFTs on those. As far as bulk gold and silver, it's really it would be very difficult to do an NFT on specific tonnage of silver and things like that. And again, as I've always said, um, cryptos don't need silver and silver don't need cryptos. When you attach the two, you're attaching extra risk, third party risk that you really don't need in either one. So they're both standalone assets. But for numismatic coins, yes, it's an amazing way to claim ownership and the time and the date and transferability. You can track the transferability of these numismatic coins. So yeah, I mean, I think it'd be awesome for that type of stuff. There's still some third party um, verification, and basically the coin graders, these companies that say, okay, this is a very fine X22 coin, um, will come into play with this as well, and they'll probably be the ones issuing the NFTs. Uh, so partly yes and partly no for gold and silver.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see how that rolls out and if that does come into play. And I feel like it would protect not only the investor, but also future people that want to invest in silver. So, do you feel that NFT implementation could solve any of the rehypothecation problems with banks in the
It
future?
can, and that's why they won't be allowed to be used in banks. Anything that solves the problem that they created and basically would make them play by the rules, they're not going to allow to happen. So, but yes, it can potentially. They'd run into there's copyright issues with Reggie's Veritasium,
Mm.
which is that's basically what it does. It creates NFTs for peer-to-peer transactions. So it'll be interesting to see what happens to Veritasium with the how these NFTs and DeFi in general get rolled out, because he was the first guy to copyright it or patent that technology. So we'll see. The U.S. government never approved the patent, but it was still locked in a certain time and date in the patent office. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, best of luck to Veritasium and Reggie.
Absolutely.
Do you think that we need Theta broadband expansion in order for NFTs to function properly?
Absolutely. We need Theta is the only thing that can save the internet right now. The internet is dying because of the need for expanded bandwidth and the lack of money going into the infrastructure to expand bandwidth. We're creating higher density video and streaming and everything. Everybody's working from home now. You got cars and phones that talk to you. All this needs more and more bandwidth. It is exploding. The behind the scenes, they know it's a gigantic problem. There's no hardware fix. You can't stick a 5G tower on every street corner. Theta is the only fix, and it's been granted 3 patents now. So clearly, at least in the United States, and I'm sure around the world as well, Theta has been it's been decided on that Theta is the thing that's going to save the internet. Without Theta being implemented over the next couple of years, with sharing of broadband, there will be no internet, and that would be a problem.
No internet or just a really, really slow
It would
internet that
go,
doesn't really function?
it would go slow and then stop. I mean, it's kind of the opposite of what happens now. The internet used to be slow. We used to wait for the dial tone. And
Mhm.
if you ever seen You've Got Mail, that movie, it used to take forever. But remember, back then, it was just like emails going, small,
Mm.
tiny files. Now we have these massive files. It's going to get harder, slower, and slower and slower. So there will be a point where the internet basically freezes up and stops unless we fix this.
Hopefully Theta comes through.
Go Theta, go Theta, go. We can NFT that song too, by
Yeah,
the
and another World Poker Tour situation doesn't happen.
way. True, but I mean that's different because that wasn't an internet problem. That was Theta Labs server
Mhm.
that was running this the auction. Couldn't handle it. So get more servers, Theta Lab.
Yes, Theta Labs. So you kind of went into this, but do you plan on using NFTs on the road to Ruda? Will we see NFTs for silver coins, maybe the Wishes and Rainbow comics, the Theta Girl music video NFT? What's in the works?
Absolutely, absolutely. And Paige has started the analysis and the studying of what the hell NFTs are for the Road Ruta family. But we will definitely. I mean, yeah, it's going to be gigantic. And with what we do on the Road to Ruta, as far as the music videos and the songs and the coins and our giveaways. Absolutely, we'll be doing NFTs as long as we comply with the law. Whatever this NFTs are being invented before the laws are formed around it, also, which was kind of like Bitcoin in the early days. So we got to be a little careful about
Mhm.
what we do with them. But it should be clear to everybody that there's no stopping this train.
Yes. NFTs have the potential to be readily used in the future and have vast applications. Right now, there are some liquidity issues within the market because it is so new. And like Bix talked about earlier, we can't really verify who is making these big transactions of these gifts and random little digital art pieces. So it's still new. Personally, I have many reservations about NFTs. I don't know if you've seen Ready Player One. Have you seen that, Bix?
I have actually.
Yeah. It was recommended to me when I started looking into NFTs, and Josh and I watched it last night. And I'm a little worried we're moving into this completely digital world and kind of losing touch with the real world. But I'm hoping that NFTs are starting off in the gaming space and then they will slowly make their way into more real life applications like housing documents, or fixing markets and making things so that people can no longer cheat the system in ways. So I see their applications, but also we're still using centralized portals to access these decentralized blockchains. So, for example, if OpenSea.io, where a lot of these NFTs are stored, they don't pay for their domain name, that marketplace goes down, and then that space to share NFTs and to uh, exchange money, I guess, for NFTs would be down, and people can no longer do things there. So there's still some constraints in the marketplace because it is within a centralized authority. What's up,
Yes,
Vic?
but there are new marketplaces coming on. Theta, for example, is developing an NFT exchange. So, I mean, not that Theta is going to solve everything, but
Mhm,
there's going to be so many exchanges, just like in the cryptos, when all the crypto exchanges popped up, now there's thousands. Same
mhm.
thing with NFTs. At the beginning, there's just a couple, and then thousands will pop up.
Yes, I agree. NFTs are definitely still in their infancy stage, but it's going to be interesting to watch the space grow and see what industries adopt the technology and how the application of the technology will be used going forward. And I'm excited to see where this space goes. And I think it'll be kind of like the dot-com era, where all of these things started coming out and people realized these applications, they could build businesses, and they had all of these different use cases. So maybe hopefully NFTs will be going in that direction. I'm always cautious of all the AI and technology stuff. You guys
Don't
know
be
I'm always
scared.
I'm
Don't be
always
scared of the
questioning.
future.
I'm not scared of it. I just question it and
Yeah,
like to toe a healthy line of, is this safe? Is this right for humanity? So only time will tell.
absolutely.
Well, I think we will wrap up there for NFTs. Is there any last words about NFTs that you would like to share, Vix?
No matter what we think about NFTs, they are going to be a monster hit. It is clear from the inception that there's gigantic demand all around the world for these things. And again, yes, be wary of it a little bit, but we won't be able to stop it. And even with regulations, which we don't like the regulator, um, but like all AI, it can be used for good and bad. So just keep that in mind as we go forward.
Yes, definitely. Well, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Word Wednesday. I can't wait to see you again soon for another interesting word. And to anyone coming to Arizona this weekend, I can't wait to meet you. I can't wait to talk to you. And if you haven't sent us your RSVP, please send that in to team@roadtoruta.com so we can get you in our guest list. And I hope you all have a wonderful week. Take care.
I'm sure we will see some Road to Ruta NFTs. I got the music thing really is interesting to me, because you can share money that goes back and forth. I think you froze, Paige. Hello, Paige. Are you there? I can't see you on this side. Uh-oh. You better reboot. There you are.
Okay, we're back.